On the morning of April 14, 1561, the residents of the city of Nuremberg in Germany witnessed something truly strange in the sky. The event lasted for about an hour, from sunrise until around 7 in the morning, and it was so significant that it was memorialized in a printed news pamphlet known as a broadsheet, illustrated with a dramatic woodcut. The author and publisher of this broadsheet was a man named Hans Glaser. According to his account, the sky filled with a multitude of objects. He described them as cylinders from which emerged round spheres of various colors, blood red, bluish, and black. There were also crosses the color of blood and what he called tubes. These objects appeared to dart about the sky, seemingly fighting one another in a chaotic aerial battle. They would clash for over an hour until they eventually began to fall from the sun towards the earth, where they were said to have wasted away in a great cloud of smoke. The broadsheet also mentions a final distinct object. After the main battle, a large black spear-like object appeared pointing from east to west. This description, combined with the woodcut image, has captivated people for centuries. The image itself shows the sun, with a human-like face, looking down on a sky filled with crosses, spheres, and crescent shapes, all engaged in this bewildering spectacle over the city. To understand this event, it's essential to understand the world of 1561. This was the era of the Protestant Reformation. Europe was in a state of religious and political turmoil. There was a widespread belief in divine signs and portents. People looked to the heavens for messages from God, and they often found them in comets, eclipses, or unusual weather. Apocalyptic thinking was common. Many believed the end times were near and that God was sending warnings to humanity to repent for its sins. This is exactly how Hans Glaser interpreted the event. His broadsheet wasn't a neutral journalistic report as we might think of it today. It was a sermon. He concludes the text by warning his readers to mend their wicked ways, lest God send more terrible punishments. For Glaser and his contemporaries, the chaotic battle in the sky was a clear and terrifying divine warning against sin. It wasn't a mystery to be solved, it was a message to be heeded. Of course, in the modern era, the Nuremberg Event has been adopted by a very different framework of belief: ufology. For many, the description of cylinders, spheres, and a large triangular object engaging in an aerial battle sounds unmistakably like a report of warring alien spacecraft. The event is often cited as one of the earliest and best documented mass UFO sightings in history. The language used, cylinders, spheres, spear-like object, seems to fit neatly into modern archetypes of flying saucers and motherships. However, historians and scientists offer other, more terrestrial explanations. The most common is the idea that the event was a complex and misunderstood atmospheric phenomenon. For example, a phenomenon known as a sundog or perihelion involves ice crystals in the atmosphere refracting sunlight to create bright spots and halos around the sun. A combination of sundogs, light pillars, and other atmospheric optical effects could have created a dazzling and confusing display of shapes and colors in the morning sky. To a populace primed to see divine signs and unfamiliar with atmospheric optics, such a display could easily be interpreted as a battle. The cylinders and tubes might have been distorted images of the sun or moon, and the spheres could have been bright sundogs. The apparent fighting might simply have been the shimmering and movement of these light effects in the atmosphere. The smoke and the crash outside the city could have been a completely separate event, like a meteorite fall or even an industrial accident that became conflated with the celestial vision in the public's memory. It's also important to remember that this wasn't an isolated incident. A very similar event was reported over Basel, Switzerland, just 5 years later in 1566. There too, residents saw black and red spheres engaged in a supposed battle in the sky near the rising sun. This suggests that such interpretations of celestial phenomena were part of the culture at the time. What we see might be less about a unique physical event and more about a common way of interpreting unusual sights in the sky through a lens of religious anxiety.